Hey, this is former LA Bird and Detroit Devils skater Larry Lewis. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you'll be informed whenever a new roller derby video is uploaded. Thanks for your support.
Here along with color analyst Peter Kelly, and we're here to give you all the play-by-play action. And Peter, right now the girls are on the track in this particular skating period, and we've got war on wheels, as we always say. And right now at the rear for the Bombers, number 39 is Big Joni Weston. And the jammer this particular moment happened to be, it was Pam Harrison, and all of a sudden the New York team comes across here, or make that the Bombers coming across. Number 36 is J.J. Burton from Oakland, California, Peter. Now, what kind of a play do you think that was? And we're going into instant
replay. What happened here, Ed, was we had the two skaters end up alone. They were getting blocked out by Weston. And then Burton broke from the front of the pack. Here we go, we can pick it up right now. Here's Peterson and Harrison.
Two fine jammers.
Two very fine jammers coming in the Weston at the rear. Now, you didn't see it here, but Burton would have already broken now and is getting to the rear.
And there's Weston blocking off, and all of a sudden...
You can just see Burton coming through there.
And this
here she comes, a little move there.
Meanwhile, on our right of the screen here, we see a Bomber skater coming across, J.J. Burton. And that, I think the credit... we
should get 3 points for that.
Joni Weston.
Joni Weston should take the credit for that. Moving those people high. And Burton scores 3 points.
Well, we're back to the live action once again. And the pack is getting intact. The referees for this particular game, Spec Saunders and Bobby Hernandez. And Peter, Joni Weston, would you say that she's a fair skater, an excellent skater? Is she a better jammer than a blocker?
Well, I would say right now Joni is a better blocker than she is a jammer. She's been around a long time, and like 20 years on the bank track, your legs get a little weary after 20 years, and broken legs and everything else that's happened to Joni.
You should know that, Peter. Okay, back to the jamming action. This is the Bombers versus New York. Live action right now. On the move now, we have two New York skaters up front. B.J. Peterson, she's ready to whip out her number 1 jammer, and number 43, Carolyn Moreland. Carolyn Moreland, who hails from Oakland, California. Both jammers down, they're back up now. Number 32 for New York is Barbara Baker. Baker and Moreland on this jam. And the lead jammer right now is Carolyn Moreland, being blocked out, and a good play there by New York. And that was B.J. Peterson at the rear. Maybe we could have an instant replay on that, Peter.
I think we're going to get a replay on that too, Ed. What happened here was you have a jammer coming in, your assist takes the other blocker high, and you're forced to cut the jam off.
Here we go now with the replay on that. Getting ready for the replay. The pack is getting intact here. Now, we did note that number 43 for the Bombers was Carolyn Moreland, and for New York was number 32, Barbara Baker. They were the lead jammers at this particular instance. And all of a sudden, number 32, Baker taking the lead, and Carolyn Moreland is right behind. It's a one-on-one situation. Now, both jammers down. Moreland on a fine play there. Now, Moreland takes the lead for the Bombers. She's the lead jammer at this particular time. And at the rear, now you can see it on the lower right part of the screen there. That was Pam Harrison blocking out a New York skater. So that was a fine play there. So actually, Peter, in essence, blocking is the name of the game.
Blocking is the name of the game.
All right, the pack is getting intact now. And this is back to live action. It's Bombers versus New York. And there's the medical trainer. There's Mr. Ken Monty. He is the general manager of the Bomber team. Ken Monty. All right, B.J. Peterson now signaling for her girls. B.J. Peterson is the captain of the New York team. She's wearing number 48. The captain for the Bombers is Big Joan Weston, and she's wearing number 39. And if you're watching the action in color, the team with the white jerseys, they're the Bombers. The team with the dark jerseys, New York team. All right, the pack intact, the sound of the whistle. Now this, number 45, moving out, is at 46, Sandy Dunn. Now there's 2 New York skaters and 1 Bomber skater. Now make that one-on-one. Ken Monty, the general manager of the New York team. Weston is up front with the lead now. Joni Weston. Now this eliminates B.J. Peterson and Sandy Dunn from the gym.
Right, you'll probably see B.J. and Sandy go back to block on this. They like to get knocked down like that and make a pull up. And there they are.
All right, there's Weston. Weston trying to get by. She's it's a double defense back there. Weston is trying to figure out a way to get by and pick up a few big Bomber points. And look at Weston breaks it wide open. Weston breaking the door wide open. Now I noticed Weston placing her hands on her hips, signaling to call the playoff.
Right, you had a late chase coming in. We just missed it on the screen, but I think we are going to have a replay of this, Ed. We'll be able to explain it in more detail. What happened was Weston got in for the 2, went up to the secondary blocker, which was the third person. Here we go, we can pick it up right now. Here's Weston breaking out of the pack low. There's a whip for one of the New York skaters. It's Dunn. And Peterson.
That was Dunn and B.J. Peterson.
There's Dunn. And that's Peterson just going down. Now what happens here? Dunn and Peterson are falling up a double block at the rear of the pack of this. I don't know what she's saying to Ken Monty there.
I know what Ken Monty's saying to her. I can just imagine that.
Well, okay, here's the double block now.
Okay, the double block.
Right, now, someone will just catch a shot of someone's breaking out of the pack up front here in a minute.
Yeah, now there's about 25 seconds remaining in this jam. Now, Weston, as we mentioned, is trying to figure out a way to open that door and score a few big points.
Oh, she's in for 2. Up to the third person. She looks back. She's got to cut the jam off because of that secondary jam of the New York team coming in.
And she did take good notice on that. She really quickly placed her hands on her hips, calling the playoff. There's some helmet throwing there. Weston back up. Now we're back to live action. Joni Weston. This B.J. Peterson, the 2 captains are ready to go at it, and Bobby Hernandez, the referee, trying to make peace. The pack getting intact now.
Oh, Bobby Hernandez. He's got his hands full out there tonight.
Peter, I'll tell you, you being a coach and a skater, I guess, I don't know, did you always give the referee a hard time?
It's the name of this part of the game. You have to intimidate the referee to try and get a little bit more out of him. Maybe a bad call. If you intimidate the guy, maybe he'll give you a better call than he would normally. So it's a game of intimidation, really, all the way along skating and
Peter,
referees.
We're back to the jamming action. There's B.J. Peterson getting a whip by Carolyn Moreland. Peterson trying to keep her balance. Watch out, Peterson. She's hanging in there. Number 36 for the Bombers, J.J. Burton. Missing the block on B.J. And there's General Manager Ken Monty from the infield showing his approval on that play by Captain B.J. Peterson of New York. All right, at the rear of the pack now. We've got a defender, number 36, and J.J. Burton. She's not going to forget what B.J. did to her. She's got Peterson. Now dropping back as a decoy is Sandy Dunn. This girl is dynamite. Look at Dunn paved the way here for B.J. Peterson. And New York is going to score a few big points here. There's no question about it. B.J. up to Weston. Weston missing the block. Going down. B.J. gets by. And she still hasn't placed her hands on her hips now. Will those points count, Peter?
They will count, as long as the time didn't run out. Just remember, there are 60 seconds on the jam by the time they break the front of the pack. So we'll see what Spec Saunders has to say here.
Spec Saunders, there he is, and meanwhile, while his back was turned, those 2 young ladies were carrying on, but referee Bobby Hernandez caught it. Now, I believe there's a penalty, and Ken Monty is questioning the call. Ken Monty can't believe what happened. And J.J. Burton holding her tummy. So the pack is getting intact now. This game here is between the Bombers and New York. Well, Peter, the men will soon be taking the track. And this is now another question too, Peter. Now, can a male skater come in here and replace a female skater?
It has been done, and opposite the two. Females do replace men's skaters in our team. It's not done very often for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I can see why. Okay. This is Johnny Weston at the rear now. Weston at the rear to pack, blocking out Pam Harrison. Pam Harrison going down now. She lost her helmet on the play. Now, in this particular thing, I guess the referee can use his own discretion.
She can still score at this time, yes.
Okay, there's Harrison going down.
A fine bit of skating by Weston, keeping Peterson up and sidestepping just at the right moment. Peterson goes back into her other two skaters, and there's no score on the play. And I think that's the end of the period, Mary.
Hi, this is Gina Valadares. My father, Ralphie, spent most of his career with the Thunderbirds. This Roller Games broadcast is brought to you by the new book, Rolling Thunder, The Golden Age of Roller Derby and the Rise and Fall of the LAT-Birds. Enjoy the skating action.
Here along with Peter Kelly. Excuse me. All right, this is number 44, Larry Lewis. Larry for the New York team. And he's got company. There's number 47, Georgie Adams and Larry Lewis. And they're trying to check out Bob Hine. They call him the Bald Eagle, Peter. And look at Bob Hine knocking down the two New York Jammers. And he's all by his lonesome. And right now, Hine is the only eligible Jammer to score. The rear to pack, that's Georgie Adams defending. And Larry Lewis right back there. They're not going to forget what Hine did to them. And right now, Hine has got a decoy. Bob Hine. And this is Rice coming in, number 35. Hine, he's going to pick up at the rear is John Parker. Big John Parker. And he's a big one, no doubt about it. Now Hine trying to score, and on that play, 2 points picked up by Bob Hine, the Bald Eagle. And the score now, it's 41-36 in favor of the Bombers.
Right, Ed, what happened on that play? The time ran out on the play. Hine got 2 points, and the time ran out, and as we see Hine sitting on the bench taking a well of the rest. He went up to Parker. Parker was the blocker on the jam, and you're going to see a lot more of Big John Parker in this game. And there he is right now.
He's got the helmet on.
Got the helmet on.
All right, this is Parker. John Parker. He is big, wearing number 48. And Cliff Butler. Cliff Butler, number 36 for the Bombers. A one-on-one situation now. 2 lead jammers for their respective teams.
And the 2 coaches we might add too.
Right, that's correct. 2 coaches for their respective teams. So it's coach versus coach, and Butler goes down. John Parker, he makes things look so easy, Peter.
For that kind of weight, Ed, it's not hard. And it's surprising. The man is so big, he's got to go around about 250 pounds, and he is very good on his feet. He's fast when he has to be, and he is an awfully good blocker.
All right, now back to the jamming action. Parker moving up to Cliff Butler. All right, Butler defending, and Parker goes down. This Butler can block, and look at Parker. And
it's the end of the jam. It just goes to show you, Ed, it's not all weight, it's timing, and he had Parker coming in on the wrong foot, saw him coming in on the wrong foot, just timed the block right, and that's all it takes.
It was a sweetheart of a play, and the score, no score on the play, and the score does remain. Bombers 41, New York 36, and we've got a little shoving match there. Referee Bobby Hernandez intervening, trying to be the peacemaker. It's war on wheels, Peter. No question about it. The pack getting attacked now. Old Eagle Bob Hine, number 35. And the jammers for the Bombers will be...
Looks like Greg Robertson.
Greg Robertson, yeah.
Johnny Rice.
And John Rice, number 39, is Rice. This fella can fly, Peter. Do you have any stats on him?
Too early in the game to really give you any stats, but I think this Whoa, did you see that? Ed? A leapfrog all the way over the top of Rice, and Rice over the rail.
You know, Peter, that leapfrog is just perfection when it's executed properly.
A very hard thing to do.
Very hard, and it's also very dangerous at the same time. All right, this is
Rice blocking out Robertson.
Robertson trying to get by for New York. Rice. On Rice now. There's Robertson, and he can fly, Peter. This Robertson can really move. Okay, there's Robertson getting by, and from the inside, getting by the pack, placing his hands on his hips and calling it off. And Peter, that leapfrog was so great that we like to have a replay.
We're going to have a replay of that, Ed. It's a very dangerous jam. It's very hard to do. I've seen a lot of people do that. And what happens is they sort of land on the guy's back and just
back to the
break their teeth. All right, we're going to have a look at this now.
Just perfection. Okay, here it is now. This is...
there's Lewis getting the helm. There's Rice, number 39.
Rice, and there's Robertson.
Robertson, number 46. There's the whip behind. The Rice.
Cameras on this play for New York. Okay, Rice is scampering out now. Right behind him is Robertson. Just, you fans watching back at home, just keep your eyes on that screen. There it is, that leapfrog. Boy, that was just
that was just as good, that sidestep there, Red. That was a beautiful play.
Well, he's just a very good, talented skater, Robertson. Peter.
Okay, it's going to be Johnny Rice at the rear block. Keeping him high on the track, high on the track. That's where you've got to keep a jammer.
This is instant replay now.
Now they get into a run out. Robertson on the high side, Rice on the low side. Up to John Parker. The sidestep inside, and he knocks down his wrong man. And in for 5 points. And a fine play by
Grand slammer on that play, Pete. A grand slammer. All right, and the score now is tied at 41-41. And
we'll be
we're
right
going to have
back.
a timeout here now, Peter, and we're going to be back with here for the Bombers. Number 36 is Cliff Butler. And John Parker missing the block and going down. I'll tell you, when he goes down, Peter, it's like an earthquake.
The whole track shakes. I don't know how that track stands up underneath that much weight. But they build tracks to keep them together, and here we see Butler coming into the rear, and I think it's going to be Parker. I'm sure it'll be Parker, the blocker. Two coaches go out in a jam, and one gets knocked down, and it is Parker.
Parker basically a little embarrassed now. All right, Butler up, and there's a nice elbow shot there by Parker. He's got Butler in a headlock. Lets him loose. Butler trying to get by. There's that leg block by Parker. He could do it well. Butler determined to get by. And Butler going down by Parker. And that's the end of the jam. And no score on that one. No score on that play. And Parker holding up his hand stating they are number one. Chief John Parker, coach of New York. Peter, now you've skated against Parker. He can be very... did you ever see Parker lose his temper? Let me put it to you that way.
I've seen him lose it once. And
was that against your team, or were you on his team? Or?
No, I was on the opposing team. This guy is he seems to lose his temper, but he doesn't go all the way. He can... I've seen him lose his temper where he went all the way once, and he just went so red. And you know, like John is an Indian, and you see an Indian lose his temper, look out.
Well, back to the jamming action here. And for New York, number 45 is Larry Lewis, another speedster. Larry Lewis, who hails from Los Angeles, California. Okay, look out. This was a fine play there by number 43, Joe Perez, the other New York skater. And this is Joe Perez. Now, at this time, Perez is the only jammer eligible to score for either team. Perez. Now, he's slowing it down. He's moving up to number 38 of the Bombers, Cal Stevens. Big Cal Stevens. He's at the rear. And Perez going down. Cal Stevens still at the rear, waiting. There's Perez again. He goes down. There's about 30 seconds remaining in this jam. Time running out. Perez. He side skates Cal Stevens and manages to pick up 1 point on that play.
Nice side step.
Play.
Very nice side step. And you notice he cut the jam off, immediately got past. There was another jam on a
right
late chase. Just got in, cut the jam off for 1 point.
You know, a lot of skaters don't realize that, Peter, but, you know, you have to have eyes in back of your head to see who's behind you.
You have to keep on watching behind you if you're on the jam. Firstly, just make sure you don't get knocked down by someone creeping up on you, and secondly, especially at the rear. Someone can come in, get in for a couple of points, cut it off, and you can stand there looking like a fool.
All right. Now we're back to the jamming action once again. Number 41 you see there is Len Silverman, who hails from Brooklyn, New York. Okay, number 39 here for the Bombers is John Rice. And Rice hitting the rail and knocks him out of the jamming contention here. Chief John Parker at the rear. Parker, as Peter mentioned, is Indian. He's part Indian. Okay, this is Parker now. He's whipping out his own man, number 47, and Georgie Adams. Now, he went down, got up, and quickly called it off, but he does manage to pick up 2 big points on that play. And the score, the Bombers 41 and New York 44.
Same type of play as the last one, really, Ed. In for a couple of points, you see the man coming in on a late chase. You have to get it as many as you can and cut it off before that late chase gets there.
Well, time is running out in this period. And the score is 45-44. The Bombers over New York. All right, there's the bald eagle, Bob Hine, whipping out number 39, John Rice. Rice, the lead jammer. And no one else in sight. It's Butler. He can capitalize here if he has the proper protection. Blocking, there's, hey, what a play by number 36, Cliff Butler, knocking down John Parker. And when you knock down Parker, you're doing something. And there's Butler getting, or make it Rice getting by and picking up a few big points on that play.
Picking up 4 points there, Ed. The score now, Bombers 45, New York 44.
All right, and there's Parker now, and time is running out. And Peter, that's the end of the period with the score 45-44.
This is former T-Bird skater Honey Sanchez. The Roller Games broadcast is brought to you by the new book Rolling Thunder, The Rise and Fall of the LA T-Birds. Enjoy the skating action.
The start of the 7th period, and here we have the 2-on-1 situation. 2 Bombers, 1 New Yorker make it 1-1 now. And Pam Harrison takes the lead here for the time being. And number 32 for the Bombers is Barbara Baker. Baker, who hails from San Francisco, California, trying to put Pam Harrison away. Pam Harrison, who hails from Clifton, New Jersey. All right, now this is...
We've got J.J. Burton working in there.
Burton, that's right, and a fine play there by Burton getting B.J. Peterson out of the way. There's Moreland hitting the rail. And Burton actually is responsible for this one. As number 32, Barbara Baker, an assist from Burton, scores a few big points here.
They're giving it 3 points.
3 points on that play. Right, 3 points, and the score now, the Bombers 48, New York 44. And they're getting the pack and tack now. Peter, and the referees, I always notice, trying to get the pack and tack. How come the skaters just, well, they just, I don't know, let time go? Is it because the lead team has so many points ahead? Or
no, it's not that at all. Everyone's trying to get a quick breather on the rail. They put out so much when the jam's on. And
I guess I'm thinking about the next play.
I'm thinking about the next play. And it is the next play. And there goes Ann Calvillo.
Ann Calvillo. Peter, this girl is in a class all by herself. She's not young by any means. She's not old either. But Ann Calvillo is about 47 years old, and she's still skating, and we give her a lot of credit. And that's no joke. Ann Calvillo is 47 years old and still skating. Wearing number 40 for the Bombers. Ann Calvillo, who hails from San Francisco. Calvillo, lead jammer. A couple of bombers against the rail, being blocked out of the way. Calvillo trying to score, and she's got the green light. She's moving up to Sandy Dunn. Now, if Calvillo gets by Dunn, I believe that'll be 5 points.
She's not going to do it. It's
and
a 4 point.
Down she goes. Calvillo goes down, but she does pick up a few big ones, 4 points for that matter, and the score now, Bombers 52, New York 44. She's something else, Peter. Did you ever skate? Was she ever on your team?
She's a lot of fun. I have skated on the same team as her, and she is a barrel of laughter. She's always laughing. She's always saying something funny.
Okay, the pack getting intact now. We've got War on Wheels. We've got another action-packed period at the conclusion of this one, so stay with us. All righty. New York versus the Bombers. This is Pam Harrison. Now, Pam Harrison is used quite often on jams, Peter. And number 35, her opponent is Barbara O'Leary from Sacramento, California. And O'Leary going down. And number 32 from out of nowhere, Barbara Baker, went out on the late chase. And now Pam Harrison's got competition. There's number 36, J.J. Burton, blocking out Harrison. So right now, the spotlight is on Barbara Baker. Barbara Baker, spotlight now. Pam Harrison, now she doesn't have her helmet. Peter, can she still score? Evidently, yep, she's getting by the pack, so she's still in this jam. She must have lost her helmet. The helmet went outside of the track where she couldn't get to it. So, in other words, this is what we said in the beginning of the program, that if the referee must use his own discretion.
He uses discretion on that one, Ed, yes.
And the Bombers over New York. They're still on the track. And this is B.J. Peterson with the helmet on, making Sandy Dunn up front. B.J. Peterson, that's correct. Okay, there's Peterson. Losing her balance, going down, getting back up. B.J. and number 40, Ann Calvillo, taking the lead. A couple of jams earlier, Ann Calvillo picked up 4 big ones for the Bombers. So this is Calvillo, the lead jammer, and she's going to try and pick up a few big ones. All right, Calvillo, the rear of the pack. The number 45, defending for New York, is
That's Sandy Dunn.
Sandy Dunn.
I'm teaming on Calvillo right now. Right? This is an old trick I used.
That's what they're doing. They're using heavy artillery right now on Calvillo. Calvillo down, but I don't think she's going to get up and up. She's calling it quits. And here's Calvillo.
Oh, here's a couple of other things too, but I'll look at it.
Yeah, I'm glad we can't read lips, Peter. Okay, there's referee Bobby Hernandez trying to separate them. Calvillo getting up slowly. There's Joni Weston, and B.J. Peterson, that is, the 2 captains for their respective teams. There's Calvillo. All right, the pack getting intact now. Plenty of skating action. The All-Star Skating Game of the Week. The sound of the whistle, the jam gets underway. So the score 52-47. Bombers on top. All right, this is Big Joan Weston. And 2-on-1 up front here. B.J. Peterson and Sandy Dunn. They're double teaming Weston. Weston hits the rail, goes down. And referee Bobby Hernandez warned both Peterson and Dunn. There's Speck Saunders, the referee. He too gives the 2 a warning. So we've got a double scoring threat here for New York. B.J. Peterson and Sandy Dunn at the rear on defense. It's Calvillo and Hannes Jensen being blocked out. Okay, and it's going to be Weston or checkout. Make it Sandy Dunn and B.J. Peterson. There's Weston defending. She's going to try and get back to these 2 gals. Let's see how she fares. She did it. Joni Weston did her job very well. And what a play that was. And we're going to have
take a second look at that, Ed. A fine New York 8-point play.
But at the same time, a good block there by Weston, preventing a further damage. And let's take a look at that action. There it is. This is the start of the jam. As you can see, Weston with her helmet on. This is the instant replay.
Leary. Two New York skaters breaking low. Tied up here. Dunn has it tied up. There's Peterson, turns, and that's all for Weston. And a little bit of a warning there from Hernandez. And from Scott Saunders. Okay, at the rear, it's Dunn and Peterson. And a double block, Jensen and Calvillo. They come up, they ride these two high into the turn, into the rail. And you take the rest of them high. Up to Weston. Now Weston, got the one low, got the one high. And a fine block to end it up.
Okay, that was a fine play there now, Peter. And the score 52-55. New York with the lead. Okay, now we're back to live action now. Back to live action. And this is Weston. We've got a little Donnybrook here. The girls are going at it. Yes, sirree. Referee Bobby Hernandez. Wow. Slugging on that play, signals referee Hernandez. And we've got another Donnybrook on the other side of the track. And Spec Saunders, I think, got the worst end of that one. Yes, sir. 1 minute for Sandy Dunn in the penalty box. Well, these referees, I wouldn't want to be a referee. That's for sure. All right, they're trying to get the pack and tack now. And there's General Manager Ken Monty of New York. Ken Monty is saying a few things to the referees. We don't know what they are, but I'm sure it's nothing for publication at this present time. Okay, we're back to the jamming action, and there's BJ calling the play off. That wasn't BJ, it was Pat Adams. That was a good move on the part of Pat Adams, Peter, stalling for time. Because New York does hold the lead here, 55-52. And ready, and both teams are at full strength again. Calvillo is going out on this move. Now, the Bombers need points. Now, why are they sending Calvillo? Now, this is going to be trouble here, possibly for the Bombers, because B.J. Peterson, and she is no slouch. She can put it all together. B.J. Peterson, the lead jammer, and at the present time, the only jammer eligible to score. At the rear is Ann Calvillo. Now they're trying to block out Peterson. Number 32 is Barbara Baker, working on Peterson.
A late chase too, Ed.
Yep, Calvillo just scampering out on a late chase, but she's got to put it in high gear. Hey, she may do it. What a play! And Calvillo, Peter, I didn't think she had enough time to do it. Yes, sirree, and that's going to end the period. A few big ones, and the score is 56-55, the Bombers. But don't go away, we've got more.
Hi, I'm John Hall, former T-Birds General Manager. This roller game skating action is brought to you by the publisher for Rolling Thunder, the golden age of roller derby and the rise and fall of the LA T-Birds. You can order this spectacular, exciting book on Amazon. Enjoy this final period of roller skating action.
Greg Robertson being helped by his teammate Larry Lewis. A good play by Lewis. Now he gets that extra whip, the extra momentum, and Robertson may capitalize here. Yes, sir. Parker blocking out the Bombers one by one. And Robertson may get more than a grand slammer on this one, if I'm not mistaken, Peter. That's all he got out of that. The grand slam, 5 New York points. And makes the score now. New York 60, the Bombers 56. Now, Spec Saunders warning Chief John Parker about something. Top of your screen, you just saw Cal Stevens letting referee Spec Saunders, evidently Stevens thought that Parker and the rest of the Bombers used some dirty tactics out there. The rest of the New York team. Okay, now this is Greg Robertson. Robertson now is on the move, going down. Gets back up. He's got company right behind him. All right, McDonald. McDonald now, Bobby McDonald. And Robertson gets by the pack again, and that looks like another grand slam, or was it just 3 points?
3 points. 3 points.
3 points in that play, and there's Robertson just shrugging his shoulders. I'll tell you, about a couple of years ago, Robertson did lead the league in scoring, Peter, and he could really put it together. As long as he gets the fine blocking, he shouldn't have any problems scoring. Right now, Georgie Adams there and Robertson, they're talking a little game strategy. The score now is New York 63, the Bombers 56. Pack getting intact now. Looks like Georgie Adams. Yep, Georgie Adams on the move now for New York. Adams and Joe Perez. Two bombers right behind now. Number 36 is Cliff Butler. Now this could be a 2-on-2 situation. Not make a 2-on-1, no, make that 1-on-1 now. Adams and Butler. Look out, and Adams going down. Now the Bombers have to pick up a few. They trail 63 to 56. So they got to put some points up on the board. There's Parker at the rear, blasting away. Parker using heavy artillery now. Butler's got his job put out for him. Parker again, letting loose. And look out, Butler goes down. And I believe no score on that play. And we're going to see a quick replay on that, Peter. On that Parker block.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. The thing I want to point out here is that the blocking that you might think it's illegal, but Parker was blocking legally in the last jam. Okay, we're going to pick it up right here.
Now that was an illegal block the way you saw it, huh, Peter?
The way I saw it, it was legal. Okay, we have Adams and Perez out on the jam here now. And here comes Butler. Underneath Perez, gets rid of Perez. Up to Adams. Pushes him high, gets him set up, and dumps him. He'll be coming up to Parker. Now, if you watch closely here, you'll see that he doesn't use his hand and he doesn't use his knee. He uses the part of the body above the knee, and he uses his forearm. And that is the difference in this blocking. It's borderline, it's very close, but if it had been illegal, the referees would have given him points or given Parker a penalty.
Okay, now that was very interesting there, Peter.
So we're going back to live action again now. Here's Parker.
Okay, that's Stevens down. On the back of his head. Back to the live action now. Okay. Number 36 is Cliff Butler, and he goes over to Parker to let Parker know that he was unhappy on that play. Parker says, well, what are you going to do about it, Mr. Butler? Referee Bobby Hernandez says nothing at all. All right, they're getting the pack attacking. Remember, the sound of the whistle, the jam gets underway. 60 seconds of jam time. Just keep this in mind, fans. Only those jammers, only those skaters with the helmets on are eligible to score. They are the jammers. Okay, this is Larry Lewis. He too can fly. Larry Lewis. He's got company in the bald eagle Bob Hine. Number 45, look out, goes down. Lewis goes down. And the bald eagle, Bob Hine, he's going to try and pick up a few big ones. The Bombers sure need the points. It's 63, or make it 63 to 56 right now. And Bob Hine did his job well. Picked up a few big ones, 4 points. And the score now, the Bombers 60 and New York 63. There's the bald eagle, Bob Hine. Fine play. And Peter, you got to give Hine credit on that one. Actually, that was a one-man operation.
He did it all by himself, really. He didn't have any much help at all. He's well known for that kind of stuff. He is a good skater. He's been around a long time. Veteran skater for some 14 or 15 years now.
And he knows what he's doing. All right, getting back to the action now. And, well, with the score 63 to 60, we're going to have a tie 63 to 60. New York on top of the Bombers. We're back to the action now. And here we go. It's war on wheels. And, well, Peter, what happened here was we're back to the action here. And the bald eagle, Bob Hine, his teammate, look out. And they're moving along right now. And, Peter, I guess that jam didn't go over too well.
I don't know what to tell you.
Chief John Parker, lead jammer now. And the score is 63 to 60. New York on top of the Bombers. All right, now at the rear, Butler. Butler at the rear defending for the Bombers. And they're getting ready to... Okay. This is Parker.
It's Bob Hine in a late chase there, Red.
Parker dropping Hine. Now Hine losing his... Hey, what a play there by Big Cal Stevens. That was one heck of a play, and Parker didn't know what happened. He didn't even know where he came from. A good play there by Big Cal Stevens. All right, there's Hine getting his whip, getting up and smartly placing his hands on his hips, calling the play off.
The Philadelphia Arena and
there's referee Spec Saunders trying to get the pack intact now. There was no score on that play, and the score remains 63 to 60. New York still on top.
That's an interesting play there, Ed. Parker thought he called the jam off. Hine got in before he called the jam off. Parker didn't score any points, but Hine couldn't catch any skaters to score any points either. When the time ran out, the 60-second time when it ran out, and nobody scored any points.
And look at Parker. He's letting Stevens know about that one, or make that Butler. He's letting Butler know about it. Well, Parker didn't like that at all. That's
no, he thought he'd cut the jam off.
Yeah. Okay. And time is running out in this game. It's 63 to 60 with New York on top. It's been nip and tuck here.
All right.
Okay, number 34 is James Paul. James Paul, followed by Lenny Silverman. And Silverman taking the lead, quickly calling it off. And that's a good bit of strategy there on the part of New York, Peter.
I don't know so much, Ed. In one way it is, in one way it's not. New York's 63 to 60, they're up, they're in the lead. On the other hand, and there, you see Ken Monty, he doesn't seem to think it's such a good strategy.
In other words, Monty wants more points on the board.
He wants more points.
Well, when you have the lead now, I guess we can say you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. What is the smartest strategy, Peter? Would you go for the points, or would you just stay pat, take the lead, and call it off? Well, they're getting the jam back together now, the pack back together. Time is running out. New York 63, the Bombers 60, New York with a 3-point lead. Time running out in this game. The All-Star Skating Game of the Week. Right now, number 46 is Greg Robertson. This fella has long legs and he can fly. Robertson trying to keep his balance. There's number 36, Butler. He caught Robertson naturally off balance and he knocked him down. Now he's got the lead. Now Robertson Doesn't have his helmet, but he can still score here, but not for long. Over the rail, Robertson. A fine hip check there by Cliff Butler. Parker at the rear of the pack now. The Bombers trying to get in back into this thing. They're trying to tie it. Parker at the rear. Butler tugging on his helmet. He's trying to pick up a few. They need 3 points to tie. 4 to go ahead. Hey, there's Butler. He may do it. Butler picks up at least one. Gets by another. There's possibly 2 points there. Okay, there's Butler by another one. There may be 3 points, and look at Butler. Hey, Butler does it, a grand slam. 5.